This is the Louie T Network.
In the Lab Room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T. Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I'm your host, Louie. Thank you for joining me. Week number 7 in the National Football League. The Oakland Raiders hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Carson Palmer coming back to the place he once called home. It's the Oakland Raiders. And so, Raiders looking to get off the schneid. Jacksonville, earlier in the day, had gotten off the schneid, got their first win of the season. Could the Raiders leave that line, that one line with no wins, and get to the one-win table? Could the Arizona Cardinals continue their hot football and stay ahead of their division? Look, that division is struggling. The 49ers had a pending game against the Broncos that looked like a daunting task. Seattle had already lost to St. Louis earlier in the day. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, you could be the biggest winner of week number 7. All you had to do was go on the road and take care of a winless Oakland Raiders football team. Seemed easy enough, but as we all know, anything and everything can happen in any given week in the National Football League. So let's talk about this football game, shall we? Cards start the scoring in the game with a 3-yard Stephon Taylor touchdown. There was some bad tackling in the football game, especially on this possession by the Oakland Raiders to allow the Cardinals to get into the end zone. You had a 37-yard Andre Ellie catch and run down the sideline, broken tackle. This play should have went for about 6 or 7 yards. Instead, they allowed him to break a tackle, get down the sideline, pick up 37. That set up the Stephon Taylor touchdown. And he got to the outside, should have probably been tackled for about a 2-yard gain. Instead, he's able to break a tackle, keep his hand down, and lunge into the end zone. And so it's 7-0. Arizona up on top in this game. And so if you're the Oakland Raiders at this point now, this game is going really slow, which is probably to your advantage. You want to keep this game as low scoring as possible. Again, Raiders aren't looking to outscore anybody. They're not trying to get into a shootout. You don't want this thing to get up into the 30s. So if you're the Raiders, you know what? The score being what it is at this point in the game, probably beneficial to you. If you're the Cardinals, hey, don't let these guys loiter. I talk about this all the time, especially with the bad teams. When them away early, have that doubt start to creep in and have it set in so that they know they're probably not going to win this game. We go to the second quarter, 7-0 Cardinals up in this game. 54-yard TJ Carey punt return nullified by blocking the back by Bryce Butler. That's what bad teams do. They shoot themselves in the foot. They negate big plays on their behalf, and they just do all of the things. It's the small things. It's the little things. It's the little subtleties that separate the good teams, the 5-2 teams in this league, from the teams that are 2-5. It's the small things. It's the little itty bitty things that maybe go unnoticed by the untrained eye, but you watch the game and you say, man, you can't have that. You can't do that if you want to win football games. It's the small things that bite teams in the tuchus. And that blocking the back, look, huge play in the game for the Raiders, looking to build some momentum, looking to get on the scoreboard for the first time in this game. You have a block in the back, wipes away a huge punt return. You get nothing on the possession. And so that not only had a adverse effect on the Raiders' drive, but they also ended up punting the football and giving, because that penalty pushed the Raiders back deep in their own territory. They go 3 and out. They punt the football. Cards get great field position, take advantage of it. Next thing you know, Carson Palmer up top to Michael Floyd for a 33-yard touchdown, just like that, 14-0. You see how quickly things can turn? You go from having a huge punt return that puts you deep in Arizona Cardinals territory to a penalty that brings it all the way back. Hey, go out the fishing line, reel them in, bring it back, all the way to your own territory, deep in your own territory. You go 3 and out, you punt. Next thing you know, Arizona Cardinals are running into the end zone. Just like that. A simple penalty changes the whole complexion of the game. It's now 14-0. Arizona on top in this game. 18 yards for Michael Rivera on 3rd down. And then 55. This was a beautiful throw by the 4 card. 55 yards to Bryce Butler down to the 2-yard line, leads to a run TMC run DMC touchdown. It's now 14-7 Arizona up in this game. And the thing that I'm most impressed with Derek Carr is how he climbs the pocket. I think that this offensive line has done a wonderful job of keeping him clean for the most part and giving him avenues in which to climb the pocket and step up and not take sacks. And he's done a really good job of using mobility to escape the pocket if need be. He's not taking sacks. And the offensive line is doing a great job of giving him areas to climb the pocket, and he's using them climbing the pocket and making throws. So there's a lot to like right now with the 4 card. I like his progression. I want to see him continue to get better. He's throwing the football down the field, something he didn't do earlier in the season. So he's starting to push the ball down the field. He's making some throws, and some impressive ones. Guys are dropping footballs. He had a drop by Andre Holmes in this game, wide open over the middle of the field. Probably would have been a huge game for the Raiders. Drops the football. So you had a couple of drops in this game. You're like, guys got to hold on to the football. Bryce Butler had a drop in this game as well. So you gotta have guys help out the young rookie quarterback if you're looking to help him continue to get better and continue to grow as a quarterback. You gotta make plays for him. So Raiders failing to do that, but they do get a touchdown here. Bryce Butler, huge game. Run DMC. When Darren McFadden gets in the end zone, it's now 14-7. Uncle Charles with a pick right before the half. And it's amazing that the 38-year-old Charles Woodson is still your best defensive player. And that's a shame because you look around the team and you're expecting some of these young guys to step up. And there's some potential here with a couple of these guys, maybe C.O. Moore. I haven't seen enough from Khalil Mack. I'm actually rather disappointed in Khalil Mack at this point because he's not getting any pressure on the quarterback. And I don't know what the Raiders are asking him to do. That's why I don't want to put a lot of the onus on him. But we haven't heard his name called yet. He didn't have a career sack to his name yet. And that was supposed to be one of the things that you were getting with him, was a guy that could be an elite pass rusher that could drop into coverage. Maybe the Raiders are dropping him into coverage a lot. Maybe the Raiders are having him. I know one thing, he's doing a pretty good job of setting the edge in the run game and stopping the run. I know he's doing that. But that's not why you draft a guy at number 5. You draft a guy in the top 5 of the draft to get pressure on the quarterback at the outside linebacker position. You don't draft him to stop the run. You don't draft him to drop into pass coverage. You draft him because he can do all of those things and do them exceptionally well. Not because he can stop the run or play the pass. He needs to be getting after the quarterback, and he hasn't done that yet. So there's not a lot of playmakers on this defense. And Uncle Charles remains the best one of the group. And he showed it again on this play. Picks off Carson Palmer and returns it 27 yards to the Cards 13. The Raiders are in business. There's over a minute left in the first half. You need to get 7 here. The good team, get 7 here. You want to win? Get 7 here. 3 passes and out. You settle for a field goal. It's 14-10. Look, field goals don't win games, touchdowns do. You know the mantra. You know the motto. You know how this goes. You can't kick field goals right there. If Uncle Charles puts you at the 13 and gives you an opportunity, full complement of timeouts, you got everything you need at your disposal. You're coming off of your first touchdown, so you got all the momentum in the world. You got to find a way to get in the end zone, man. No excuses. Find a way in the end zone. They could not settle for a field goal 14. The Cardinals won. If you ask me, the Cardinals won in that sequence of events because they turned it over. All the momentum was on the side of the Raiders. You're at the 13-yard line of the Cardinals with a chance to go into the end zone and tie this game up after it was 14-0 just 2 minutes ago. Now it could be 14-14. They make you settle for a field goal. They won right there because this easily could have been 14-14 at the half. Instead, it's 14-10. That's the halftime score. You go to the third quarter. Seabass knocks home a 53-yard field goal to bring the Raiders within 1 at 14-13. And they changed holders. A lot of people have been blaming Marquette King for the struggles of Seabass from these long distances. And look, hey, whatever you got to tell yourself to make you feel better, if you want to blame Marquette King for him not holding the football right, Seabass pounded it home. I mean, I've seen Seabass miss quite a few 50-yarders over the last couple of years with Marquette King holding the football. So maybe there is a little bit of truth to that. Maybe there is a little bit of credence there. But Matt Shaw was doing the holding, and hey, made a 53-yarder, so boom. It's 14-13 now. Raiders within 1. Then Andre L.A.B destroys the Raiders. and takes the Cardinals right down the field. He did it through the air, had a couple of catches on the drive, was killing them on the ground on his possession as well. I mean, his all-purpose yards in this game was off the charts, well over 100. I want to say he probably was closer to 150 all-purpose yards in this game. Probably over 80 yards rushing and another 80 yards receiving. And he really did the Raiders in this game, did Andre L.A. And on this possession, he was the catalyst for them getting down the field. And he gets them all the way down to the 7, does Andre L.A., leaving it up to Stephon Taylor to get in the end zone. And that he does, as it's now 21-13. Raiders are down by 8. Stephon Taylor with his second touchdown. First one, a receiving touchdown, this time a rushing touchdown. So he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of getting to the end zone for this Cardinals team. Now they're up 8. Still a one-score game, still a one-possession score for the Raiders. If you can get in the end zone and get the 2-point conversion, you never know. We'll see what happens. But we move on to the fourth quarter, and nothing happens for neither team in this game until the late stages of the fourth, where the Arizona Cardinals are able to put together a very time-consuming and game-clinching drive, forcing the Raiders to use their timeouts. And then they're able to eat up the clock. On a 3rd and 13, this was the pivotal play of this drive. 3rd and 13, Raiders have the Cardinals right where they want them in 3rd and long. Sheriff John Brown able to pick up 17 and a first down. That essentially used the Raiders the rest of their timeouts. Also gave the Cardinals a chance to run off a lot more clock and get closer for a Catanzaro field goal, which would put this out of reach. And that's exactly what happened as the Arizona Cardinals extend the lead to 24-13. That would be your final score in this game as the Arizona Cardinals go into Oakland, the O.co, come out with an 11-point victory, move their record to 5-1 on the season, and remain atop the NFC West division. And what a day it was for the Cardinals. I mean, you watched the 49ers lose later on that night. You watched the Seahawks fall earlier in the day. You get it done in the afternoon. It's a beautiful day for the Arizona Cardinals as they now have a 2-game lead over everyone in the NFC West division. Meanwhile, the Oakland Raiders are the only winless team left in the National Football League after Jacksonville's 24-6 victory over the Browns. So, hey, those same Browns come into your place this week, or excuse me, you're going to Cleveland this week. Hey, better get you a win. Hey, Jacksonville was able to do it, but you won. This is a tough loss, but they're playing more competitive football. They're playing better as a football team. You can tell that they're on the cusp of getting one soon, but look, don't pass up opportunities to get you one. Here comes a prime one in the Cleveland Browns. Now, it is on the road, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Wherever it is, you got to do it. You got to get it done. And so, if you're the Raiders, there's an opportunity for you to get your first win of the season. You got to take advantage of it. Arizona gets it done on the road. It was a trap game. They did not fall into it. And even Donnell Dockett was able to troll the fans in Oakland by putting up a sign that says, worst team in the NFL, put up the 0-7 sign, or it might even say 6 at the time. And he put a smiley face in it. They were throwing ice and all kinds of stuff at him. So I think they might have been throwing coins at him. But whatever the case may be, Raiders still looking for their first win of the season. Cardinals moved to 5-1 with a nice road victory, 24-13. That's what you do for Cards and Raiders. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, let's big or small, we covered all here in the lab room. Got a couple more games to break down in week number 7 of the National Football League. Come back and join me. I will see you in a bit.
Like the content? Want more? Sub up.